Welcome to Berlin!
Please welcome the host of this event, Vila Cortera!
Welcome to Berlin, welcome to Google Developer Day 2011 in this beautiful city. Wow, what a crowd. This is the final tour of our GDD World Tour, or the final event of our GDD World Tour. We were in 8 beautiful cities around the world already, and this is the grand finale. So welcome very, very much. It's actually our 4th GDD in Germany, and the first one in this beautiful city here in Berlin. And I have the feeling it's probably not going to be the last one, right? Woo! What a crowd. Our first GDD was actually in Hamburg in 2007. Anyone who was there back then? We had about 120 people back then. Last year, really, we had 1,200 people. And today, we're probably more than 2,000 or so. This is really, really amazing. And this makes it by far the largest GDD of the entire world tour. So this event in Germany is actually growing faster than Moore's Law. Wow! Anyhow, I promise you that we will have a very special event to close out this world tour. We are extremely excited about the involvement that we have with you, the developer community, and we are very much looking forward to fantastic, interesting sessions where we can engage with you, and we can have fantastic discussions about Google technologies, and where we can learn from you, the developer community. We wouldn't be where we are today without you, the developers. We have a fantastic Google developer community in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I think we have even people from Slovakia and from Finland here. Anyone? Yeah, all right. In Germany, Austria, and Switzerland alone, we have 17 GTUBs. 17 GTUBs. That makes us the largest GTUB community in all of Europe. And the youngest 2 of those were actually founded just 2 months ago. So happy birthday GTUB Bremen and happy birthday GTUB York. Welcome to the GTUB community. You all helped us to create this fantastic event. You set up the GTUB lounge that we have up in the balconies of the main foyer. You set up the developer sandbox. I think this is the first ever that we have a developer sandbox at a GDD. And you also organized the Ignite sessions during the program. So really, thank you. And also, what makes this very special, and I want to call out one person specific, Neil. He was sort of the mastermind behind organizing the entire developer weekend for you guys. That started on Thursday already, went through Friday, is peaking with today, and I think there's still something in store for tomorrow. So this is a 4-day developer weekend. Thank you so much. And maybe we can have all the GTUB leaders and the organizers of the developer weekend stand up for a second for me. Neil, all right, over there. So if anyone wants to get more involved with the Google developer community, these are the community leaders you want to reach out to. So please find them, please talk to them, they would be happy to get you more engaged. Also, as a thank you to all of our developers worldwide, we started to rethink the way we want to engage with you, the way we want to get feedback from you, and the way we want to support you. So, how we can make that better? Take a look.
The web is always changing, and the way we access it is changing. The source of that change is you. Developers all around the world who are using our tools to create great new things. And with so many tools, the sky's the limit. But it can't happen without you and your ideas. We want to know you better, so we created a new place just for that. To hear from you. We want to hear what inspires you as a developer, and how we can help. Here you can record a video, share stories with us, and more. Let us know what being a Google developer means to you. And you can talk to us in person at Google developer events all over the world, so that we can learn how to support you better. Oh, by the way, we also started rolling out a new site for Google developers. Not just code, but community, news, tools, and other resources. And Keynote. Like any open source project, it's a work in progress. With your help, it can be great.
So you heard it, we want to hear your stories. Tell us what inspires you and how we can support you better as a Google developer. Tell us what's important to you and how we can better develop you as a Google developer and a Google engineer. We set up a video booth in the main foyer where you can actually do exactly that. Tell us your developer story. So go use it and we will definitely value your feedback. Beyond developer stories, we are also always interested in reaching out to academia and to research. And in the beginning, I told you that we will have a very special event today. And one of the ingredients that makes this event special is actually that we have partnered with two of the most innovative universities in Germany, the Humboldt University of Berlin and the Technical University of Berlin. And in order to actually tell you what these universities are working on, we created a special track in the program where we get insights from them, where we learn more about their interesting research, and I think they also brought some posters and demo that are outside, so I'm personally very excited about that. So to hear more about what those two universities have to offer us today, I'd like to welcome on stage Professor Johann Christoph Reiter, Humboldt University of Berlin, and Professor Volker Markel from the Technical University of Berlin. Welcome.
Hi, good morning everyone. I hope you are all awake. I don't want to bore you, but I think it's a good idea that we present ourselves and introduce ourselves. So I have the privilege to start first. Technology. I think you have to switch to the other. You see, this is not to us. I think we have to ask the guys up there to switch the projectors to the right. Oh boy. Well, you know, this is good. Because that means we just don't need it as human beings. Well, let me introduce Humboldt already a little bit. Are there Humboldt students around here? Oh, okay. I'll read it. Okay, this is the main building. Humboldt started in 1810. We have now 39,000 students, almost 600 professors. That includes the medical school, the Charité. So quite a big school. It's located at the Unter den Linden and it's distributed around the eastern part of Berlin. Those of you who don't know, Humboldt has been a very famous place for a long time. I'll show you a few of the Nobel laureates here, and I hope we can continue this tradition in the near future. One or two things have been very important, at least in my life. I think as a professor it's important not only to be involved in teaching or in research, but doing both at the same time. And if you ask my students, they always appreciate that I can tell them newest things, and those with whom I work together enjoy that I know how to express myself. So being on both sides of the coin I think is very important. You might also know that Humboldt has been connected quite well over the century to computer science. This is the famous person. Every one of you knows him, probably John von Neumann, the Neumann architecture. He was at the beginning of the 30s as a postdoc, you would say today, at Humboldt University, and he gave lectures. And this is a piece which shows what kind of lectures he was. He was not here as a computer science person, but as a mathematician. So pretty important. Unfortunately, he had to leave Germany because of the Nazis and continued his work in the US. So here you can see him in front of one of the first machines that were created because of his great ideas. If you want to know more, we have three sessions in the afternoon, and we welcome you to hear what great things we do. Besides the demos, we invite you to also look at our ideas and see how we can connect here. I think your input and your ideas are welcome for us as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Christoph. And now I'm here to introduce TU Berlin, Berlin University of Technology. So who is here from TU Berlin? Very good. So, TU Berlin is a university that started actually in the 1770s as a mining, agricultural, industrial engineering school and became a Royal Technical College in 1871. It also, during World War II, actually got destructed heavily, reopened in 1946, and is now one of the leading engineering and science schools in Germany, with about 30,000 students and 7 schools. So our schools, you see here on the slide, and I'm from the School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, which is the other school, the largest computer science school that we have here in the area, with 3,500 students, out of which 1,700 are computer scientist students and 700 are in the area of computer engineering. And from a research perspective, as you already heard, it's very important to combine research, innovation, and also technology. And at TU Berlin, is really the cradle of what we would call rocket science, in the sense that Werner von Braun, who you may know as the person who brought the people to the moon, was a student from TU Berlin, so there's a lot to aspire for. But at the same time, we also have brought up at TU Berlin several important innovations that are relevant to computer science, including the electronic microscope and, very importantly, the world's first computer, the SUSE computer. And here, at the Google Developer Day, we are showing some interesting talks as well from our strategic research areas. So TU Berlin has a couple of strategic research areas that impact our society as a whole. That is health, that is medicine, that is traffic, transportation, energy, and information and communication technologies. And today we will hear 3 talks from TU Berlin in the University Research Session, one by Anja Feldmann, about the internet and about the internet architecture changes and new ways there. So Anja is one of the great scientists in computer science in Germany, an award winner of Leibniz Prize and many other prestigious awards, and she will tell us about internet architecture and what's the future there. Then we will hear a talk that's actually a collaboration among TU and HU and some other universities in the area about a research unit stratosphere for big data analytics, massive parallel computing in the cloud. And I'll give that talk in the research session. Later on, we will hear another talk about machines that learn from Klaus Müller, another very prestigious researcher at our school that has been working on that, Brown, who also has won many awards like an Alcatel-Lucent Award. And he will not only talk about machine learning, but show you some very new ways of how you interact with computers in the way that the computer will just read from your brain. So he's one of the principal investigators and inventors of the brain-computer interface. And so that's a very exciting topic. And we also have, together with the Humboldt University, a lot of interesting demos and posters. So please also come by and see all the exhibits that we have there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, SUSE, von Neumann, and Christoph and Volker. It doesn't get any better than that. Thank you very much. Very exciting. So today is all about amazing and innovative technology. And to now tell you more about all that, I would like to introduce you to our first keynote speaker, who will take you on a journey through time. So please welcome my dear colleague and our first keynote speaker, the one and only, James Whittaker.
Is that a little born in the USA I heard there? You just can't tell them I'm American, right? Not only did we take credit for John von Neumann, there was that whole war thing. Sorry. There's the global economic recession. Sorry. Particularly to Germany. Sorry. We're glad you're rich, though. And then we stole Jurgen Klinsmann, didn't we? That's just not right. So I'm James Whittaker. I'm a software engineering director. What that means is teams of coders report to me. I own the Google Plus APIs. I do some security testing around the company and lots of tools. This is the last GDDDE, and there's a big group of people over here dressed just like me because we planned it that way. Who have been with us from the start. We've done 8 cities, this is the last one, and we're kind of bummed about it because we don't want this to be over. This is a lot of fun for us, reaching out to developers, talking to you guys about what you need from us, what we can do for you, and how we can work together. This all started just 2 months ago in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and a lot of us were there. And in that 2 months, lots of things have changed. You know, the things that we were able to give to the Brazilian development community are completely different now because we've progressed. There are new APIs that weren't available then that are available now. There's new features in Chrome and Android that have come out since then. And we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest stuff. So this deck that I'm going to be going through, which by the way is an HTML5 app, no normal slides for you guys, you deserve more. Has had to be updated constantly because in 2 months the world has changed. But I want to start even further back than that, all the way back to 1990. 1990 was really the birth year, the coming out year for this web of interconnected computers. 1990, 21 years ago. If the web was American, it would just now be able to buy a drink at a bar legally. This is not that long ago. And there wasn't much you could do with the web in 1990. By show of hands, anybody have a cell phone in 1990? No, me neither. Did anyone have an email address in 1990? Ooh, wait, hang on a second. Was anyone born before 1990? Raise your hands. Okay, just checking. 1990 was a good year, especially for you guys. In 1990, the Berlin Wall came down. Right, reunification. October 3rd, 1990. And in 1990, there was something else that was important that happened for Germany. You won the World Cup. Now, what do you get when you mix a World Cup winner with the birth of the web? Wonderful, everyone, one of those things. We had German coverage, you never know. So now in 1990, there wasn't much you could do. I had an email address in 1990. I got my first email address in 1988. I knew exactly 4 other people with email addresses, and they all sat within a 10-foot radius of my desk, right? This email was by far the worst way we could ever communicate with each other. You'd go like, dude, I got a file, it's over here. Now, that wasn't good enough for the developer community, though. You continue to push technology. There's a web of interconnected computers out there. What can we do with it? Well, we did some pretty amazing things with it. Even statically, the world became smaller. Information stored on one machine could be fairly easily viewed on another machine. And the information age really began in earnest. Sharing was, for the first time possible, in the early 90s. So now in the early 90s, any cell phone owners? Oh, there's a couple out there. They were big, weren't they? Heavy bastards. I mean, my daughter, we were watching that, the thing was Pretty Woman or something, and Richard Gere comes out with this phone, right? And he's talking to, it's still connected to his car. And my daughter was like, good God, what is that man holding? Things are different now. What about email addresses in this time? Email addresses? We're beginning to come online now, aren't we? We're beginning to be able to do things and share information in ways that we weren't able to do just a few years ago. But it was really the software developers of the world who took the only two tools available at this time, a text editor and a markup language, and that was it. You didn't have anything else. You had DI and HTML, and yet we still pushed the web further. We didn't develop apps, but we developed very compelling websites. And it wasn't long before those apps became real, before client-side scripting became a reality because developers pushed the technology providers in that direction. We need to be able to accept input and produce output. We need to be able to check inputs for errors. We need to be able to use the power of the client in conjunction with the power of the web in order to do the things that we wanted to do. And it was really you guys, the software development community, that pushed us forward. How many people had web access, cell phones, email, etc. during this time? The numbers are growing, right? All throughout the web, the number of users have grown, which means the number of customers have grown, which means business began to be real on the web. In the late 1990s, the early 2000s, this was the age of the enterprise. This was eBay. This was Amazon.com. This was not only people consuming information on the web, but doing business and making money and building brands. This was a really amazing time on the web. How many people had email addresses and cell phones during this time? Okay, I can stop asking you now. You get the point. It's grown up, and it's grown up fairly fast. This is a decade, a single decade. And things changed again. In the early 2000s, instead of sitting in the office and consuming information and apps for 8 hours a day, and then going home and doing other things, we now have the power of the internet in our hands. We went from the desktop to mobile, and now information is consumed 24 hours a day, and it's not just at work, it's at home, it's in shopping malls, it's in airports, it's in forests. I live in the state of Washington in the United States, and I can go into the middle of Mount Rainier National Park, and I can surf the web. This is a 14,000-foot mountain, and I can surf the web on top of it. This is crazy. Now, mobile really took over, and in a way, the web has gone away. Right? This web of interconnected computers where everybody has to put a web server on their machine to share information, those days are really gone. We have a cloud, we have big data centers, and we have mobile. And things get a lot faster, things get a lot richer, and the capabilities that software developers can bring to bear in their applications becomes really amazing. And the types of apps we see coming out now, Foursquare, Spotify, right, the serious third generation web applications are bringing in millions and millions of users worldwide. It doesn't take much anymore to be really successful on the web, except for a really good idea and access to brilliant developer skill. Now, we can help take that brilliant developer skill and smooth the way to an application. The ideas are your own, and that's what GDD is about. It's about communication between Google and Google developers to make you guys more successful and your lives a little bit better. So what's next? What is after the cloud mobile era? This future web that we call it. Well, that's what this conference is all about. We are going to display the latest and greatest Google technologies.
from Android, from Chrome, from Cloud and App Engine, and the newest member of our API suite, social. We also have Google TV people here. We have Maps developers here. If you have any questions about any of these things, find somebody in one of these shirts and ask them. If they don't know the answer, they'll find someone here who will. There are 40 Google developers from around the world who are here today to help answer your questions. Now, we're going to start with the little green guy, Android. Do we have any Android cell phone owners out there? It's not just your money that the rest of the world likes serving, it's your taste in mobile operating systems. So, there are 4 billion cell phones worldwide. More cell phones than TVs, more cell phones than PCs, more cell phones than landlines. Of those cell phones, the Android market is growing. 60,000 as of February 2010. That number multiplied by 5 by December of the same year. And it nearly doubled again by July. And we're sure it's doubled by now. We just haven't been able to have the time to update this slide. Android is a large part of this market. 200 million Android devices are activated worldwide. From 48 different phone manufacturers, 277 carriers, in 137 different countries. Android users, your customers, are everywhere. Now, it's one thing to have a phone, but what about applications? Because that's where you guys come in. You don't want them just using the phone, making calls and texting. You want them purchasing your applications. Well, in the first 20 months of being able to install apps on an Android, we had 1 billion app installs worldwide. In the next 5 months, that number doubled to 2 billion. And in less than 5 months, we added a third billion, and today it stands at over 8 billion application installs on Android. This is a shocking, amazing number. 300,000 Android applications are currently in the Android marketplace. And we've also added recently the ability to not only buy applications while you're using your phone, but also at your desktop, on your laptop, on your Android tablet, you can shop from the comfort of your living room. Now, we have multiple ways to bill now as well. You can do direct carrier billing, you can do in-app billing, and you can bill to a credit card. So, and what we find is that when we add APIs and capabilities for new ways to bill your customers, they come through. When we added in-app billing, we noticed a revenue increase for our application developers. So as we introduce new APIs for new ways to charge for these applications, people are using them. And we're also noticing that the latest operating systems are growing in the number of application users. So as people get the latest and greatest version of Android, they consume more.